I am grounding myself because I went out among people, a little overstimulated, a little overtired, still pushing myself just a little bit, recovering, because you gotta a little more every day and pay attention to it. I worry more about the emotional than anything because that's the closest to the spiritual. So I'm grounding myself. I started stimming, the autistic stimming, as a child, but then I was not allowed to do it, so I restarted it again as an adult going through trauma. And I found that this prickly, and I mean it feels like it's going to go through your skin like needles kind of thing, and I have socks for that reason, helps. And yeah, the world is having to stim more and more. We are all have to because of shit going down. I'm not going to explain, so I'm channeling. I'm listening to music, which I don't know if YouTube will take that down because, you know, I'm listening to music. I don't know. But anyways, so I'm channeling it. It just, sometimes it comes in so fast that I have to stop doing what I'm doing and film it. So as I'm trying in my head to explain to my daughter how you get out of the matrix by emotionally sort of becoming dead. And it's so that the eye doesn't see. So that the eye that's of this earth doesn't see, because it looks to that eye like you're dead. So you can see things like a dead person sees. So everything is transparent and everything has transparency. Can't tell you if it's the same for time traveling. But it's also the same for, obviously, with yogis leaving one's body or for dying before you die. And when that happens, you get out from under karma, dharma, sin, whatever you want to call those things, because the great eye of the lower holy nature ain't watching you. The great observer, the great shadow, the great whatever people label it. So the best way to get over shadow tendencies that are corrupting your life and your spiritual growth, simply put, is these things we do to shut down the mind, to shut up the personality, to switch up what one believes, to get out of the petri dishes of culture and then start to think for the self. I realized that left and right hand groups, even though they talk about all this stuff, even though people have been trained in it, they don't get it. It's kind of like Christians who can mouth all the words about Christianity their whole life, but they can't actually live any of it because it's just a conception against deception. But anyways, you can mouth it and you know all the words, but that doesn't mean you actually have the power to live them. And that being is the ego that gets in between. And so I get when people go on and on about losing the ego and they're going to do it the toxic way and blah, 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 what the fuck ever. But that's you and your game. It's not my real spiritual growth. And this is the thing, like, people don't understand. You can't have people do things for you, so therefore someone's going to suffer for you to replace you so you can absorb them and get their good karma and their good luck. Well, that's a lie. That's basically just, you're helping that person to literally learn how to escape the matrix because you're making them so strongly identify with death or with no mind or wiping the mind or all this. But it can be done for good and for bad. But when it's done for no reason but for the self, but for the singularity, it's way a different story than somebody making you do it as part of a religion or a commitment or forcing you, you know, like instead of you doing it because it's what you love, not because what you want, need, or desire. And so, yeah, I just started to, and I interrupted my own channel, to which I need to stop doing, and just hit record and not pay attention to what's going on or who's going to hear it. Because my mind was literally telling me how to get out of the matrix, out from under the all-seeing eye, the shaitan, the God, the shadow, which is the lower instinct of this world, but is also the physical, tangible world of the Father, you know, and the hidden mother. So there's just so many layers to stuff like that. But, you know, Spirit's just telling me that that's the stillness. That's what the stillness is about, is no longer identifying with the old character. So now you switched up your character, and if you can, depending how much you can dissolve that character, you can get the I, the God of this world, so to speak, to stop looking at you. The ego stop looking at you, so you can be still, be here in the moment as what you are. But the funny thing is, you can't hijack that, and you can't force it, because if you force it, then it's all about the person who's keeping it, who's hijacking it in the first place. It's not you. It's a religion, again, or being twisted for somebody else's use and not yourself. So yes, those things can initiate you and help you, but after initiation, they're not going to be the thing that helps you. Once you get to a certain point, suffering shouldn't be what's driving you. Like you shouldn't need it or force it to be. And I'm not talking about losing the ego to the point where you also ignore evil and crappy shit people are doing against you. I purposely decided to balance and come out of my heart space and come down so I could finish a work. Come down emotionally, spiritually, so I could finish a work that I was told that I had to do. And it needed to be done. And I asked Spirit about it, which of course is just me. I'm not separating myself from it any way you want to look at that. But anyways, I just figured I would stop and talk about things that I channel. And you shouldn't share how to escape the matrix. Yeah, I'll tell you how you do it. Everybody's telling you how to do it nowadays. So you got to find what works for you and not listen to the old elites, because there is not a lot of time before the new elites need to come along. And I'm not talking about any of these orders or groups. It's going to be a group of normie everybody's who can get to where they need to be, so they can not only stay in their spiritual self-center, but they can get along with everyone and are not a destruction to the people doing it, while being open to teach everybody and to expose everything, because that's what the Aquarian age is about and what is going on right now. So some of us land to expose things within ourselves and with others, because it's inevitable, no matter which path you take, that you're going to expose stuff. So yeah, bend to your soul, bend to your center, and do whatever it calls you to do. Like for me, it's eating flesh now and not being a vegan anymore. So yeah, and it's what my body needs. And yeah, earning back my crown and my clarity and my seeing has been extremely important to me. And if I chose to do that, chose to come back here again for that, chose to land, chose to come out of my heart space for a war, I chose it for a reason. And when I say the war's over, because the war's just over. And we all need to get there, but there's some people that will do anything to stop it, because they're the old elites and they need the order that they have, and that it ain't going to work no more, because everyone's energy coming out of Kali age is going up and going higher and getting better. So you can't be deceived the same. And everything's frequency domains and energies, so